Okay, quick question before we start. Be honest. Have you ever met someone who looked completely normal, smiled like everyone else, talked like everyone else, but something in you just said, nah, something is not right here? Like your body knew before your brain could explain it. No evidence, no clear reason. Just a feeling you couldn't shake. And maybe you ignored it. Maybe you told yourself you were overthinking, being too sensitive, judging too fast. So you stayed. You kept talking to them, kept letting them in. And slowly, things started to feel off. Not in a loud, obvious way, but in small moments. Little shifts, little doubts, little discomforts you couldn't explain. Yeah, we're talking about that today. And listen, this is not some horror movie stuff. No shadows on the wall, no creepy music in the background, just real people, walking around like everyone else. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. No red eyes, no floating in the air. I wish it was that obvious. Because the real danger is people who look perfectly fine, but slowly, quietly. They drain you, confuse you, change you, and you don't even realize it's happening. And today, we're going to break down 5 signs you might be dealing with what Carl Jung would call the shadow gone wrong. Or let's just say it how it feels. A human demon. Yeah, I said it. And by the end of this video, you might start remembering faces. Don't panic. Just stay with me. Now, before anyone runs to the comments like, "This is too dramatic," relax. We're not talking about demons from movies. We're talking about people who are completely disconnected from empathy, who operate through manipulation, control, and emotional feeding. Carl Jung believed every human has a shadow. The part of you that holds your anger, your jealousy, your darker thoughts. But here's the difference. A healthy person acknowledges their shadow. An unhealthy one, they become it, fully. No awareness, no guilt, no limits. And the scary part? They don't always come as enemies. Sometimes they come as friends, partners, family, even people you trust the most. 1. They drain your energy. Let's start simple. Sign number 1. You feel exhausted after being around them. Not physically, emotionally, mentally. Like, you were fine before you met them. You had energy. You were calm. Then suddenly, after one conversation, you feel heavy, confused, drained, even irritated, and you don't know why. And the funny part? Nothing bad even happened. They didn't insult you. They didn't fight you. But somehow, you feel worse. That's not random. That's not just a mood. That's your nervous system reacting. Some people don't connect with you. They feed off you. Your attention, your empathy, your peace. And once they get it, they leave you empty. You ever had that one person? You see their name pop up on your phone, and you just sigh? Yeah. That's not love. That's your soul saying, please, not again. 2. They twist reality. Now this one is dangerous. They twist reality. You say something simple like, hey, that hurt me. And somehow, you end up apologizing. Wait, what? You walk into the conversation confident, clear. By the end of it, you're confused, doubting yourself, replaying everything in your head. That's not communication. That's manipulation. They don't argue to understand. They argue to win. They'll change details, deny things they clearly said, or act like you're too sensitive. And after a while, you stop trusting yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm the problem. That's how they gain control, not by force, but by slowly disconnecting you from your own reality. And once that happens, they don't need to control you anymore. You'll do it yourself. 3. They mirror you. Okay, this one is almost creepy. At first, they feel perfect. Same interests, same humor, same values. You're like, wow, Finally, someone who gets me. Yeah, that's not always real. That's called mirroring. They study you, watch how you speak, what you like, what you fear, and then they reflect it back to you. Because people trust what feels familiar, so you open up, you relax, you let your guard down, and that's when they start shifting, little by little. The kindness fades, the understanding disappears, and you're left wondering, what happened to the person I met? I'll tell you what happened. That person was never real. 4. They lack real empathy. Now this one is subtle, because they can act empathetic. They'll say the right words. Oh, I understand. That must be hard. But something feels off. Because when it actually matters, they disappear. Or worse, they use your vulnerability against you later. You tell them your fears. And one day, in an argument, they throw it right back at you. No hesitation, no remorse. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. Real empathy doesn't turn into a weapon, but for them, everything is a tool, even your pain. 5. You feel worse about yourself, last one. And this is the biggest sign. You slowly stop being yourself. You become quieter, more anxious, more careful. You overthink everything you say. You try not to trigger them. You shrink. And the worst part, you don't even notice it at first. It happens slowly. Until one day, you look at yourself and think, what happened to me? That's the cost. Not just your energy, not just your peace, your identity. Now let's be real for a second. Why do these people show up? It's not random. People like this are drawn to certain traits. Kindness, empathy, self-awareness. Basically, good people. If you're someone who listens, cares deeply, tries to understand others, you're more likely to attract them. Not because you're weak, but because you're open. And they see that as opportunity. That's why boundaries are not optional. They're survival. So what do? You don't fight them. You don't try to fix them. You don't try to prove anything. You leave. Emotionally first, then physically if you can. Because some people don't change, they just change targets. And listen, this is important. Not everyone who hurts you is a human demon. But if you see these patterns repeatedly, don't ignore it. Trust that feeling you had in the beginning, the one that said, something's not right. It was right. It was always right. If this hit you, just drop a comment, even just a word. I read them. And, yeah, subscribe if you want more like this. Not just videos, but conversations like this. The kind that make you pause for a second and actually think about the people in your life. Because we're not just talking about others here. We're also learning about ourselves, our patterns, our boundaries, the things we ignored, and the things we felt but couldn't explain. So if something in this video made you stop, even for a moment, that's your sign. There's a lot more we're going to unpack on this channel. Real psychology, real human behavior, the stuff most people feel, but don't talk about. No filters, no pretending, just truth. So yeah, hit subscribe, stay close, because we're just getting started.